All right, y'all. What's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99, all box and everything. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right, y'all. So I wanted to come back and just give my final thoughts on the Spence Crawford epilogue, the all access Spence Crawford, and just kind of, go over a little bit of the fight and, my thoughts on Spence and Crawford as a whole, what they were able to accomplish by making this fight. And, just the overall attitudes of the fighters, man. First off, I got to say, shout out to Showtime, man. The way they put these episodes together, the way they do the transitions and the way they, they just put the music in and they just incorporate all of these little things, as far as just the cinematography. You got to love it, man. And that's what every hardcore boxing fan wants, because we see these fighters, behind the scenes. It's like actors in a movie sometimes. It's real. We know that it's real, but sometimes we just kind of play these things out in our minds like, oh, wow, these two gunslingers are about to go to war, or, these two gladiators, they're about to get into the arena and put it all on the line, right? That's what it kind of reminds me of, some of these epic movies that you see, with just the build up behind the scenes and then finally that war. And, they once again executed it well. I believe, we got a chance to see parts of Errol and Terence that really make you have to respect them. Just down to the chill time in the hotel room where you're just seeing them lay back. They're not acting all hype at this point. Like some people think, they think that these fighters are always like thinking negative thoughts to get in there to execute game plans. But no, like to Terence and Errol, this is like strategy. It's a strategic battle. You got to get in there and you got to put it all on the line in the most calm way, in the most calm manner. And what I took away from, Terence, just kind of chilling, in the bed, doing the last couple interviews, he just had that calm tone, where he was like, I'm always like this. I'm always like this. Now it's just the calm before the storm. And it's all about just relaxing and remembering, everything that brought you here at this point, and bringing some more, exceeding that. Same with Errol, seeing Errol just kind of chilling, eating some last minute meals, getting the burgers in from his chef. He was just kind of at chill mode, sitting, over the roof, with a nice little view at night. They look a little drained at that point, both fighters, but, that's a part of the game. You just get to see that part and just say, oh, man, how do these guys do it? How do they do it that next day? And they have this rough weight cut, and then they're able to, rise to the occasion. But that's all a part of it, man. I just kind of enjoyed that beginning and watching them just kind of sit back and, just think about the fight the next night. Are they nervous? Do they have anxiety, or have they been there before? And, I like the fact Terence, he had his Bible chilling there. From what I could tell, I could see, like, it didn't say Bible. They didn't show the top of it, but, I know how the Bible looks. He just had several books there just to kind of give him, some motivation and things like that. And then, just leading up to the fight night, just seeing, the families come and, the kids are there, the whole family's there, both moms are there. You gotta kind of feel like nervous for them and bad for them. Like whenever, you kind of feel bad. You don't really feel bad for them. You just kind of feel like that anxiety for them at that point, because it's like, wow, man, like when my kid make it out of here, is he gonna be on that end of taking the L? Like how's it gonna end? Like how is he gonna take it? How am I gonna take it? Right? And then along comes the fight. You see Errol have a okay round. Like I went back and looked at the fight a little bit, and just looking at the shots they showed in the first round of this fight, you could say Errol might have won the first round, and I was picking Errol to, I gave him the edge in this fight just because, I was going for the underdog in this fight. But I think that overall, Terence Crawford, he won every round to me. But, they did show some little highlights and clips of some of the punches that Errol did land. And he had a little success with some of the shots early, but they weren't enough to really take Crawford out of his game plan. And then you just saw in slow motion those beautiful cinematic shots of those right jabs landing. And, man, like there was just that one shot when he landed off a combination that just knocked the sweat off of like Errol's head. Like first shot, like just kind of pinged his head. Then the next one just jarred his like whole neck. And you could just see like that jolt. And like Errol Spence's head just jolted from that shot, and you could only imagine like the pain like that this guy was just trying to take from each of these punches, because that was just one of many. That was just one of many of those shots. And, you know, yeah, man, Terence Crawford, he just put an excellent performance together. He was confident, brought in, you know, some new tools that we haven't seen before, and, you know, just made sure that he was bringing everything that worked in the past, but the things that didn't. You know, like this time around, he wasn't trying to trade shots. This time he wasn't trying to leave his chin open and make a fight look competitive or carry a guy. He just went in there and, you know, totally shut everything Errol Spence had down. Now, I heard the things about, you know, weight problems for Errol. But hey, Errol didn't make any excuses for this. I mean, he only knows what was wrong with him that night, but everybody knows when you get in that ring that night, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's all on you to find some way, somehow, to win a fight, right? I know we could say this, we could say that, a fever, a stump toe, or whatever, but you're paid to fight that night. You know, you're paid to fight that night, and that's you. You put on the gloves, and that's how it goes down, right? So, I mean, we could say, oh, yeah, the weight cut was bad, but, I mean, that was his choice. You know, that's another thing that's part of strategy, which I'll talk about in another video about Crawford, you know, as far as his overall strategy in this fight. But, yeah, I mean, it was epic. It was an epic event. You know, you had everybody out there, you know, a bunch of the football players, which I don't really pay attention to, but you did have the boxers. You know, you had Thomas Hearns, Mike, Evander, you know, the new guys, everybody from, you know, of course, the old schools like Floyd and Manny. Then you had Keith Thurman, the Charlos. Everybody came out for this fight. You know, it was really one of the biggest fights in the history of boxing. I mean, even these new rappers I don't really know, you know, they were there. You know, we had a bunch of rappers out there that I don't really I don't listen to. And then, you know, after Terence got the victory, you know, he was out partying, just playing some golf, and had a bunch of stars out there, Nick Cannon and all these other people that were really into this thing. So that shows you that, man, this fight was huge. This fight was promoted right. I mean, it was just like, I believe, a couple million under Tank and Ryan, but that just shows you, man, like, with how these two guys carry themselves and just all the accomplishments they've had, that was enough to put the fight on that level. Maybe, like I said, if it was a little bit more wild, it probably would have went that limit. It probably would have got to that Tank Ryan numbers, but this was good enough for two guys that just are low profile, low key, respectful of the sport, and that's how it goes. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed All Access as a whole. But yeah, I enjoy watching the epilogue every now and then, just kind of looking, you know, at the fighters, man, and listening to, you know, what they have to say. You know, Terence Crawford earned every single one of them belts, man. And Errol, I felt bad for him, man, just kind of looking at him in the locker room. You know, he said he wanted to do it again when he was talking to his son, and just looking at the beating on his face. And that's a part of the game, man. That's a part of the game. You feel bad for the guy, but that's what they get paid to do. And that's just how it goes down. Somebody had to take the loss. You know, the one part that did kind of hit me was when Errol said, you know, this is how it feels. You know, he's never felt that before, right? He's never felt that before. So hopefully he goes back to the drawing board and says, you know what? I don't want that feeling again. Just like Andre Ward. When Andre Ward took his first L as a kid, like 12 years old, he said, I'm never losing again. So hopefully Errol Spence isn't too old to change some things and, you know, just improve as a fighter. And hopefully he's old enough to kill that feeling of never getting that again, right? So, yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I hope everybody else did, you know, the fight, the build-up and everything. Real quick, though, I just wanted to say, yeah, Terence Crawford, I believe right now, to me, he is pound for pound #1 off of this fight, because, you know, everybody knows this was the best. This was the best fighting the best, and the fashion that he did it in. You know, I could have definitely seen Terence Crawford winning by decision, but the fashion that he did it in was really what earned the pound for pound #1 status. All right. So, yeah, from here, you know, Terence, I'm sure he's got a few more fights. Errol, as long as he's medically cleared, I know he's suspended for 2 months. That's normal. As long as he has that hunger and he's able to go back to the drawing board and change some things around, I believe maybe he can give it a couple of more goes, you know. Definitely got to see him change up some things, guys. But let me know what y'all thought. Let me know what y'all thought of the epilogue if y'all did check it out. Combo Breaker 99. Make sure y'all subscribe. I'm out. Peace.